There are nights when the mind does not rest, when thoughts drift like restless waves across an endless sea. You lie still, yet the heart moves quickly. Worry whispers softly about tomorrow, about what may come, about things unseen and undone. The Lord once spoke to weary hearts like these. He said, "Do not be anxious about your life, what you will eat, or what you will drink, nor about your body, what you will wear." His words were not commands of burden, but invitations to breathe, to release, to rest in the certainty of divine care. Take a slow, deep breath. Let it fill your lungs gently. Hold it for a moment. Then exhale slowly. With each breath, imagine the noise of the day falling away. The concerns, the unfinished tasks, the what ifs and if onlys, fading into the soft stillness of the night. If these stories bring you peace, take a moment to like this video, subscribe for more nightly reflections, and share where you're listening from tonight. Your words and presence help keep this space warm and growing. Now, take another slow breath. Let's begin. The evening is quiet in Galilee, the hills resting under the pale silver of twilight. A gentle breeze moves through the grass, and the sea glimmers softly in the distance. The teacher stands upon a slope, surrounded by those who have followed him through miles of dust and days of hope. Their faces are tired, their hands empty, their hearts full of questions that linger quietly behind their eyes. He looks at them, and in his gaze, there is no judgment, only compassion. He sees the same weight they carry, the same weight, the burden of trying to hold tomorrow before it arrives. The kind of heaviness that doesn't sit on the shoulders, but settles in the chest. He speaks softly, his voice carried by the wind that moves through the valley. Therefore I tell you, do not worry about your life. The words float like light through the air, landing gently in their hearts. Some close their eyes as if hearing something their souls have been waiting for. Take another slow breath. Let those same words settle within you now. Do not worry about tomorrow. Not because tomorrow is unimportant, but because it already belongs to the one who holds you tonight. He gestures toward the sky, and the crowd follows his gaze. Above them, the evening birds glide easily through the fading light, their wings cutting smooth paths through the air, effortless, unhurried. He smiles and continues. Look at the birds of the air. They do not sow or reap or store away in barns, and yet your heavenly Father feeds them. The people watch, some with awe, some with quiet tears. For even the smallest wing is not forgotten by God. Take one final long breath before resting. Let your chest rise and fall with peace. Every breath is proof of His care. Every heartbeat a reminder that you are seen, You do not carry tomorrow alone. For the one who paints the dawn is already preparing it for you. The air grows softer as twilight deepens. The last rays of sunlight spilling across the hills like golden silk. The teacher's voice drifts gently through the quiet, carried on the evening breeze. Around him, the people grow still, the sound of their worries fading beneath the rhythm of his calm. He turns his gaze toward the open fields below, where wildflowers sway gently in the fading light. Their colors glow, soft purples, pale yellows, white petals touched with pink. They move with the breeze, not fighting it, not clinging to the earth beneath them, simply resting in the moment they've been given. Consider the lilies of the field, he says softly. They do not labor. They do not spin. And yet I tell you, even Solomon in all his splendor was not dressed like one of these. The people follow his eyes. And for a moment, they see what he sees, not just flowers, but trust made visible. Take a slow, deep breath. Let it ease through your chest like the evening wind through the meadow. With every inhale, imagine that same peace flowing through you. With every exhale, let your worries loosen their grip, like petals released into still air. He steps closer to the hillside and bends slightly to pick a single bloom. It is small, delicate, yet radiant in the light of the setting sun. He holds it gently between his fingers, not as something fragile, but as something perfectly kept. If God so clothes the grass of the field, which is here today and gone tomorrow, will he not much more clothe you, O you of little faith? The words do not wound. They heal. They speak not of shame, but of belonging, of a Father who tends to every living thing, from the sparrow's flight to the bloom of a single flower. Take another breath, long and slow. Feel how the air moves easily through you. You are part of that same creation. You are not forgotten, not overlooked. The same God who paints lilies with beauty has painted your life with care. The teacher looks across the gathering, faces softened by fading sunlight, hands folded quietly in thought, hearts beginning to release what they have held too tightly. He smiles, a smile full of warmth and knowing. He sees the shift, that small unspoken peace that settles when trust begins to take root. The breeze moves again through the field, carrying the scent of the wildflowers through the crowd. The petals shimmer gently, whispering their quiet sermon to the weary. You are loved. You are held. You are tended. Take another deep breath before resting. Let that truth settle deep within you. You do not have to make tomorrow bloom. God is already growing peace around you and within you. The teacher releases the flower, and it drifts softly to the ground, landing upon the grass where others bloom freely in the fading light. And with that simple gesture, the evening feels holy. not because of what is said, but because of what is understood. The evening deepens. The sky now awash in pale lavender and soft rose. The last notes of daylight shimmer upon the water in the distance, rippling like threads of gold that refuse to fade. The teacher looks upward again, toward the quiet sky, where a small flock of birds glides easily through the dimming light. Their wings move with grace, steady and effortless. They do not rush. They do not store. They do not fear the empty sky before them. Yet every path they take seems guided, every descent led by unseen hands that know just where to rest them. Look at the birds of the air, he says. They do not sow, nor reap, nor gather into barns, and yet your heavenly Father feeds them. The words flow into the air like calm waves, each one gentle, sure, luminous with peace. He pauses, letting the stillness stretch between them, and in that quiet, a soft chirping begins above the trees, faint at first, then many. The birds settle into their branches, their evening songs echoing across the hillside. It is as if creation itself answers his words with its own chorus of trust. Take a slow, deep breath. Let the sound of those invisible wings move through your mind. With every inhale, imagine the lightness of their flight. With every exhale, let go of the thought that you must carry all things yourself. He looks at the people seated before him, their faces turned upward, the lines of worry softening into stillness. He smiles gently, knowing that they are beginning to see not only the birds, but themselves, not creatures of control, but children of care, not architects of tomorrow, but beloved parts of God's ongoing creation. He continues, "Are you not of more value than they?" The words rest in the heart like a quiet revelation. More value than they, more precious than wings, more loved than lilies, more tended than all the wonders of the earth. And yet, how often the heart forgets its own worth when worry grows loud. Take another breath, long and soft. Let those words echo within you. Are you not of more value than they? The question is not meant to be answered, only felt. For in the asking, peace begins to unfold, reminding the weary soul that it has always been cherished. The wind moves again through the hillside, rustling the tall grass. The birds circle once more, their wings catching the moon's first faint glow, and they vanish into the twilight, unafraid, unworried, resting in rhythm with the one who made them. He lowers his gaze, meeting the eyes of those before him, no longer speaking loudly, only whispering what heaven has already proven. If the Father feeds them, surely he will feed you. Take one more deep breath before resting. Let the air fill you like peace fills the sky after the setting sun. You are seen. You are valued. You are carried. There is no moment when the Father's gaze leaves you. No hour when his care pauses. The hillside grows quiet again. The last birds settling into sleep. And in the stillness that follows, hearts begin to rest as well. Lighter, freer, trusting once more in the gentle strength of the one who never forgets. The night has now fully embraced the hillside, the last streaks of color fading into deep indigo. The crowd sits quietly, listening not just to words, but to the peace that has begun to settle between them. Torches flicker softly in the distance, the scent of olive wood smoke mingling with the cool wind drifting up from the valley. The teacher stands still for a moment, his eyes lifted toward the darkening sky. And then he speaks again, his tone as gentle as the evening itself. Your heavenly Father knows that you need all these things. The words fall like soft rain upon dry ground. Simple, tender, enough to loosen the grip of fear around every heart that hears them. He looks around at those who gather close, men and women with worn sandals and tired hands. Mothers holding children whose eyes are heavy with sleep. Fishermen who know the uncertainty of each dawn. Farmers who live between seasons of harvest and drought. He knows what they carry, the quiet anxiety that hums beneath even their prayers. Take a slow, steady breath. Let it draw in gently through your nose and fall softly from your lips. With each inhale, imagine the calm certainty of those words settling deep within you. Your Father knows. With each exhale, let go of the need to control what has already been seen by love. He continues. Which of you, by worrying, can add a single hour to your life? The question hovers in the air, light but sharp. It does not scold. It soothes. It reminds them that worry adds nothing to life. But trust. Trust adds peace to every breath. He glances toward the horizon, now a thin silver line between heaven and earth. A single star gleams above the water. Constant. Calm. Unshaken. And he says softly, your Father feeds the birds. He clothes the flowers. He tends to the smallest detail of creation. Will he not tend to you, whom he has made in his image? The people are silent. A few close their eyes. A few bow their heads. For the first time, they are not thinking about what they lack, but remembering who loves them. A still joy rises within them, quiet, unexplainable, complete. Take another deep breath, slow and calm. Let your body loosen, your shoulders drop, your heart open. You do not need to hold tomorrow in your hands. It already rests in the hands of the one who knows how to turn darkness into dawn. He looks down at a small child resting against his mother's lap. Her eyes half closed, her breathing soft. And he smiles. For that child trusts without knowing, rests without question. And that, he knows, is faith in its purest form. He turns back to the crowd and speaks one last time before the night deepens completely. Seek first the kingdom of God, and all these things will be added unto you. The words drift into the quiet, the kind of truth that feels like a promise carried on wind. Take one last deep breath before resting. Let it remind you that even now, God sees what you need. He provides before you ask. He cares before you worry. Nothing is unseen. Nothing forgotten. Nothing beyond his reach. The teacher lowers his gaze, and for a long moment, the world feels utterly still. The stars above shimmer softly. The sea below glows faintly in the moonlight. And in that perfect peace, every anxious heart learns how to breathe again. The night is calm now. The moon a quiet lantern hung above the hills, casting silver light upon the grass that bends with the wind. The teacher remains where he stood, surrounded by silence so complete. It feels like a living presence. The people do not stir. They listen, not only to him, but to the sound of the world breathing in peace around them. He gestures toward the valley below, where shadows stretch long over fields and trees. Look, he says softly. Look at creation. It moves without worry. It grows without striving. His voice is low, rhythmic, each word falling into the stillness like a pebble dropped into deep water. He points toward the branches of a fig tree, its leaves trembling gently in the breeze. The tree does not rush its fruit. The flower does not fight to bloom. The river does not fear its course. He pauses, looking at them kindly. All of creation trusts. It surrenders to its maker. And yet you, more precious than all, forget that the same hands hold you too. Take a slow, peaceful breath. Let it enter you like cool air through open windows. With every inhale, imagine yourself drawing in that same still trust that creation knows. With every exhale, let the weight of control drift from your shoulders. You were never asked to hold the seasons, only to live gently within them. He kneels down and touches the grass, damp with dew though the night has only just begun. The blades glimmer beneath his fingers, each one distinct, each one alive under his father's care. He smiles softly and says, "See, even this, even the smallest thing is tended. Even the quietest moment is noticed." The crowd watches, and for a moment, the entire hillside feels like an altar. The air itself seems to hum with gratitude. He looks toward the horizon where the sea lies still, its dark surface breathing beneath the stars. The waves do not question when the morning will come, he says. They rise and fall in time with the will of God. And that is enough. The words settle deep in every heart. Even the anxious find their breathing slow. Even the restless feel their pulse align with the rhythm of creation itself. Take another long, steady breath. Feel how life moves through you without effort. The same breath that fills your lungs fills the world around you. The same peace that keeps the stars in place keeps your soul steady tonight. The teacher lifts his hand again, and the people follow his gaze upward. The moon has climbed higher, glowing over the curve of the earth, and beneath its light, the world feels whole. No striving, no fear, only stillness, only faith made visible in the quiet harmony of all things. He lowers his voice now, barely above a whisper. The Father who formed the stars, who clothes the lilies, who feeds the sparrows, has never forgotten you. The words pass through the crowd like a breeze, and many close their eyes, letting the truth rest within them until it becomes breath itself. Take one final slow breath before resting. Let the rhythm of the world steady you. Let the peace of creation remind you. You are part of it, loved, seen, sustained. You are not apart from the song of life. You are one of its quietest, most precious notes. The teacher looks across the still faces of those he loves, and in the hush that follows, the world seems to exhale with him. The stars shimmer gently above, the sea whispers softly below, and the lesson is complete, not in words, but in stillness. The night deepens, a soft quiet stretching over the hillside like a warm blanket. The flicker of torches has dimmed, the faces of the listeners now only faintly outlined by moonlight. The teacher's words hang in the air, gentle, slow, steady as breath itself. He looks out across the gathered hearts, seeing the lines of concern still faintly etched across their brows. And he speaks again. Which of you, by worrying, can add even a single hour to your life? The words linger, still, serene, unhurried, and though they sound simple, they carry the weight of eternal truth. Worry cannot build tomorrow. He reminds them softly. It cannot mend what is not broken. It cannot bring certainty to what was never ours to control. It only tightens the chest. It steals the sweetness of the present moment. It clouds the simple joys of being alive under the mercy of God. Take a long, deep breath. Let the air move through you like a river through an open plain. With every inhale, gather your thoughts into stillness. With every exhale, release the small tensions that live in your heart, the quiet fears, the unfinished plans, the need to know what comes next. The teacher continues, his tone tender, never heavy. He speaks as one who understands, who has seen human hearts grasp at tomorrow and lose today in the process. Do not be anxious, he says again. For your Father knows what you need, before you even ask him. The words come like a lullaby, calm, repetitive, comforting in their simplicity. He pauses and listens to the night, the rustle of reeds, the soft hoot of an owl in the distance, the quiet sigh of the wind moving down the valley. Even creation seems to echo his teaching. Nothing rushes, nothing strains. All of it simply is. He looks back at them, his eyes warm with compassion. You cannot add a single hour by worry, but you can lose many to it. A few faces lift toward him, tears reflecting the soft light of the moon. Not tears of sadness, but of release. For to hear such words is to be invited to set down the heaviest burden of all, control. Take another slow breath. Let that invitation rest gently within you. There is nothing you must fix in this moment. Nothing you must prove. All you need to do is breathe, and let peace begin where fear once lived. He continues softly. Tomorrow will have worries of its own. Let today be enough. The phrase is simple, yet as it moves through the night air, it feels like a revelation. For the soul always longs for permission to rest, to live inside one sunrise, one moonlight, one breath at a time. He kneels, and with his hand draws a small circle in the dust before him. This is your life, he says quietly, complete within this moment, whole as it is. He wipes the dust away with his fingers, and the people watch, understanding without words how easily worry tries to redraw the circle of peace, and how quickly grace restores it again. Take another deep breath. Let the night air cool your skin. Let your heart beat slow. You cannot add to life by worry, but you can deepen it by peace. This breath, this heartbeat, this quiet moment are already miracles. The teacher rises, the stars above brightening now, thousands of silent witnesses to a world perfectly kept. And he says no more for a while, because silence has become the sermon. The stars shimmer softly over the hillside now, countless and calm, their faint silver light resting upon the faces of those who listen. The teacher stands quietly among them, his presence steady, gentle, like a lighthouse guiding hearts through restless seas. The air is cool, the wind tender, and every sound seems to have softened, as though creation itself has bowed in stillness. He lifts his eyes toward the heavens and speaks again, slowly, deliberately. If your Father feeds the birds, if he clothes the fields with beauty, then how much more will he care for you? His voice is low, but strong in its peace. The kind of voice that doesn't stir the air, but settles it. He lets the silence that follows stretch long and unbroken. And in that silence, Something sacred begins to happen. Hearts begin to believe what ears have heard. Take a slow, deep breath. Let it enter your chest softly. With each inhale, imagine yourself resting in unseen hands, steady, sure, loving. With each exhale, release the thought that you must hold tomorrow alone. Faith, he reminds them, is not the absence of uncertainty. It is the calm of knowing who holds the uncertain. It is not found in control, but in surrender. Not in predictions, but in presence. He turns toward the sea below, a wide mirror of moonlight stretching endlessly into the horizon. Waves rise and fall in rhythm, unhurried, untroubled by what lies beyond the dawn. He gestures toward the water. Even the sea trusts its boundaries. The tide does not resist the shore. It moves with the rhythm the Father set before time began. The crowd watches, and something deep within them understands. The same rhythm runs through their own hearts. They were not made to live in fear of what comes next. They were made to flow, to breathe, to trust the current of God's care. Take another breath, long and slow. Feel it move through you like tide returning to shore. You are not lost. You are not adrift. The one who commands the sea has already charted the path for your life. The teacher lowers his gaze, and his expression softens, a smile faint and luminous beneath the stars. He speaks again. Why do you doubt? When you are held by the same hands that shaped the light. No one answers, for there is nothing left to defend. No question left to raise. Only stillness. Only peace. Only faith beginning to bloom in quiet hearts. He kneels, picking up a handful of sand. He lets it slip slowly between his fingers, the grains catching faint light as they fall back to the earth. Each one, he whispers, known, counted, just as your days are counted. Your breaths, your steps, all kept within the care of your Father. The words drift softly into the night, and every listener feels smaller, yet somehow more seen than ever before. Take another slow, steady breath. Let it remind you that nothing escapes his knowing. Not your sighs, not your fears, not the silent prayers you've never spoken aloud. The same hands that hold the stars hold you still, without slipping, without failing. He closes his eyes, and for a moment the world feels perfectly still. No rush of thought, no weight of tomorrow, only peace alive in the present. He exhales slowly, as though releasing every remaining trace of worry into the open night. The crowd follows his breath, one by one, hearts loosening, burdens dissolving, and for the first time, many of them feel truly free. Take one last gentle breath before resting. Let your mind rest in those same hands tonight, the ones that shaped tomorrow. that guide the wind, that hold the stars steady above you. For if he tends to all these, surely he tends to you. The moon has climbed higher now, bathing the hillside in a pale silver calm. The people remain seated in the grass, the night cool upon their faces. No one speaks, for the stillness has become its own kind of prayer. The teacher looks over them gently, eyes soft with love, and says quietly, "Do not worry about tomorrow, for tomorrow will worry about itself." The words drift like mist across the valley. They settle softly on every heart, and within their simplicity, there is freedom, quiet, beautiful, unforced. He steps closer and kneels beside a patch of tall grass swaying in the night breeze. He runs his fingers through it, the blades bending easily beneath his touch, returning to their place when his hand moves away. "See how even the grass lets go," he says softly. "It bends. It yields. It trusts the wind that moves through it." He looks toward them again, his voice like water flowing gently over stone. You hold tightly to things that were never yours to control. The days ahead, the outcomes unseen, the words unspoken, the worries unnamed. But when you let go, you do not lose. You are carried. Take a deep, unhurried breath. Let it move softly through you. With each inhale, feel the gift of this present moment, complete as it is. With each exhale, imagine loosening your grip on every thought that pulls you beyond now. He gestures toward the night sky, endless, wide. The stars shine without effort, he whispers. They are not anxious about the dawn. They simply are. They trust the rhythm set before time began. The people follow his gaze, and for a long while, no one moves. They are watching heaven, but they are also seeing peace reflected within themselves. He continues, "When you release the need to control, you discover something holy. You begin to feel light again, free again, alive again. For worry is a chain, and trust is the key." The wind stirs softly through the trees, leaves rustling like quiet applause to the truth spoken into the night. Take another slow, peaceful breath. Let your shoulders loosen, your mind quiet, your spirit open. The weight you have carried all day does not belong to you. The Father who formed you has already taken it into his keeping. The teacher reaches down again, picking up a single fallen leaf from the grass. He holds it up to the light of the moon, thin, fragile, beautiful. It once clung to its branch, he says, and now it drifts wherever the wind leads. And even that is not chaos. It is care unseen. He releases it, and the leaf spins upward once before floating away into the dark. its path guided by breath invisible but sure. The crowd watches it go, each heart understanding the quiet lesson. That letting go is not losing control. It is finding trust. It is remembering that to be carried by God is safer than to stand in our own strength. Take one last long breath before resting. Let it draw in light. And release every shadow. Let go of what has already been placed into His hands. The future, the outcome, the worry, all belong to Him now. The teacher lowers his gaze, his voice nearly a whisper. Rest, for you are carried, not by chance, but by love. The wind moves through the grass once more. The people breathe together, slow, quiet, at peace. And the night feels lighter, for the freedom of letting go has filled it completely. The night deepens into a velvet hush, the kind of stillness that feels alive, gentle, sacred. The moon rests high above the Sea of Galilee, its reflection trembling softly upon the dark surface below. Each ripple glimmers, rises, fades, in perfect rhythm, as if the water itself remembers the one who told it when to move. The teacher looks out across the horizon, his gaze following the slow dance of the tide. He says nothing at first, only breathes, the quiet of creation filling the space between words. Then, softly, see how the waves rise and fall. They do not ask when the wind will change, nor fight against the current that carries them. He turns to them and smiles. So it is with the heart that rests in the rhythm of God's care. The people listen, the truth unfolding slowly within them. Peace does not come by striving, but by surrendering to the steady flow of grace. For God's care is not occasional. It is constant, not something earned, but something that simply is. Take a long, slow breath. Let it move through you like the tide moves through the sea. With each inhale, feel the calm certainty of divine order. With each exhale, release every thought that tries to outrun the present moment. The teacher walks closer to the edge of the hillside, where the grass meets the stone. He looks upward, to where the stars scatter like tiny lanterns across the sky. They have not ceased to shine, he whispers. Since the beginning. They burn and breathe as they were told to. They live by my Father's word. And they do not worry if the morning will come. A murmur of awe moves through the people. Some lift their faces toward the stars, and see for the first time how still they seem. They begin to understand that even the heavens have their own heartbeat, steady, unwavering, content in obedience. Take another deep breath. Let your breathing fall into that same rhythm. The rhythm that hums through creation, through stars and rivers, through your very veins. The rhythm of a God who sustains, Who provides? Who never forgets? He lowers his voice even more. The sound now little more than a whisper carried on the night air. You were made for that rhythm. Not for hurry. Not for fear. The birds trust it when they wake. The lilies trust it when they bloom. The sea trusts it when it sleeps beneath the moon. So must the soul who knows its maker. The people sit motionless, their hearts beating quietly in time with his words. Even the smallest child among them seems to understand. This peace is not fragile. It is foundational. It is the rhythm that was written into life itself. He lifts his hand slowly, and the crowd follows his gaze toward the moonlit horizon. There is no chaos in his care, he says. There is only timing, and love, and order deeper than you can see. His voice trails off, leaving only silence, and that silence feels holy. Take another deep breath, slow and complete. You are safe in that rhythm tonight. The same pulse that turns the earth, that calls forth dawn, that keeps the stars in their courses, beats within you now. You are not forgotten. You are not outside of his keeping. The teacher closes his eyes for a moment, and as he breathes, the people breathe with him. The world feels as though it has found its center again. And within that stillness, faith no longer feels like effort, but like breathing itself. The night stretches vast and tender above the hills, a great expanse of quiet light, soft and eternal. The stars shimmer gently, scattered like seeds of promise across the velvet sky. A faint wind drifts through the olive trees, stirring their leaves into a whispering song that sounds almost like breathing. The teacher lifts his gaze toward the sky, his eyes reflecting the shimmer of starlight. Look at the heavens, he says softly. They do not fear the coming dawn. They do not tremble at the fall of night. They simply shine in their appointed time, and rest when their hour is done. He pauses, the silence around him deep and steady. The sky never fears tomorrow, because it knows the one who made tomorrow. The words linger like music, slow and luminous. They settle upon the people like the quiet touch of rain. And in that stillness, hearts begin to loosen. For how could they cling to fear, when even the sky above them rests in perfect peace? Take a slow, deep breath. Let the air fill you with the cool calm of the evening. With each inhale, imagine the stars above drawing closer, wrapping you in their quiet trust. With each exhale, let go of every thought that reaches too far ahead. He turns his face slightly toward the east, where the faintest glow of moonlight meets the dark horizon. Every day, the sun rises and sets, he says, and not once has it failed to appear. The Father commands it, and it obeys in peace. He looks back to them, his expression tender, knowing, And yet, you fear the morning, as though your life were less certain than the light of day. The people are silent, not with guilt, but with the realization that they have forgotten something simple, something holy, that life, like the sky, was never meant to be held in anxious hands, but opened, like air, like light. Take another long breath, slow and calm. Let the rhythm of the wind guide you. You are under the same sky that knows no fear, the same sky that watches over the sparrows, over the lilies, over every soul that dares to rest in the Father's keeping. The teacher kneels, drawing a line in the dust before him. This is time, he says softly. Each day drawn by his will, each moment given as gift, not as guarantee. You are not called to shape the sky, only to live beneath it in peace. He brushes the dust away again, and the gesture feels like a blessing, as if every anxious plan and every restless thought has been erased by grace. He stands, the wind moving through his hair, the night air cool and fragrant around him. The sky never fears tomorrow, he repeats, almost to himself. It knows the one who commands its dawn. And so should you. Take another breath. Let that truth settle deep within you. Your life is no accident. Your tomorrows are not empty space waiting to be filled by fear. They are already seen, already shaped, already loved into being by the one who made the sky itself. The teacher lowers his gaze, his eyes calm and full of quiet compassion. He looks upon the people, upon the land, upon the sea that glows faintly beneath the stars, and the peace that flows from him feels boundless, unending, eternal. Take one last slow breath before resting. Let the night wrap gently around you like a promise kept. You are beneath the same sky that never fears. You are held by the same hands that never fail. And as the wind sighs softly through the trees, the crowd breathes as one, peace settling into every soul like dew upon grass. The stars wheel slowly overhead, each one glowing softly in its place, content to shine as it was made to, neither brighter nor dimmer than intended. The teacher sits now upon a smooth stone, his robe gathered around him, his voice low and calm, carried easily by the night breeze that stirs through the valley. The people sit around him in a wide circle of stillness, their breathing soft, their hearts beginning to rest within the quiet rhythm of his words. He looks at them with gentle warmth and says, "Worry begins where gratitude ends, but peace begins when you remember the beauty of enough." He pauses, letting the words breathe on their own. The night listens with them, the air alive with silence so deep it feels holy. He reaches down and picks up a small handful of earth, dust, fragments of stone, a single blade of grass caught between his fingers. "This," he says softly, "is enough for the lily. The bird does not hoard. The flower does not plan. They live within the portion they are given. And in that, they find glory." Take a slow, peaceful breath. Let it fill your chest, steady and full. With every inhale, gather the quiet truth of his words. With every exhale, release the endless reaching that keeps you from resting in the gift of now. He looks toward the crowd, faces bathed in moonlight. Some wet with quiet tears. Others lifted toward the heavens in soft wonder. "How much of your worry," he asks gently, "comes not from what you lack, but from forgetting what you already have?" The words fall softly, not as correction, but as invitation. To see, to remember, to breathe again in the simple abundance that has always surrounded them. He continues, "Your Father gives enough for each day. Not more to store, not less to fear. Each sunrise brings its portion of grace. Each night its measure of rest." His voice fades into the hush of crickets, into the rustling of the grass beneath the stars. And within that sound, the people begin to feel it, the gentle release that comes when the heart no longer demands tomorrow's answers tonight. Take another deep, slow breath. Let gratitude rise quietly within you, for the air that fills your lungs, for the peace that holds this moment, for the unseen mercy that has already gone ahead of you. Let it remind you, this moment is enough. This breath is enough. This peace is enough. He closes his eyes, hands open upon his knees. The wind moves softly through the trees, and it feels as if creation itself is praying, not with words, but with presence. Each sound, each movement, testifying to the quiet sufficiency of God's care. He opens his eyes again, and smiles faintly. "When you rest in enough," he whispers, "you discover joy. For joy does not come from what is gathered, but from what is given. And the Father gives freely, endlessly, perfectly." The moon glows brighter now, spreading its light over the hills. Every blade of grass, every flower, every human heart, touched by the same soft mercy. No one speaks, but within the silence, worship rises, unspoken, gentle, whole. Take one last slow breath before resting. Let it move through you like calm water. You are not missing anything you need for peace tonight. The Father has given enough, and in his enough, there is beauty, there is rest, there is love without end. The teacher looks upward one last time, and the stars seem to shimmer closer, and for a breathless moment, the whole world feels full, complete, perfectly enough. The night lies still upon the earth, a soft silver quiet spreading across the valley. The olive trees stand motionless, their branches glinting faintly under the moonlight. Somewhere in the distance, a shepherd's bell rings once, then fades into the hush. The teacher sits quietly among his listeners, his eyes reflecting both the stars above and the hearts before him. He does not hurry his words. He lets them come slowly, tenderly, like ripples moving outward from a calm spring. He speaks. The Father is always at work, even when you do not see it. He provides for what you have not yet asked. He answers prayers not yet spoken. The people listen, and the breeze carries his words through the night air, gentle, invisible, yet undeniably real. He looks toward the dark horizon where the sea rests under the sky. "Do you see the waves?" he whispers. "How they rise and fall without ceasing. They move because the moon pulls them, and yet the moon never touches the water. So it is with the hand of God, unseen, yet drawing all things toward his will." Take a deep, slow breath. Let the air move softly through you. With every inhale, imagine that same unseen grace moving quietly in your life. With every exhale, release the thought that you must understand every motion of his plan. He lowers his gaze, his eyes tracing the faint outlines of lilies near his feet, pale petals glowing like tiny lanterns in the grass. "Even now," he says softly, "the flowers take in the night air, the roots draw water, the stars lend their light. All this happens without sound, without effort, without fear. This is how the Father works, quietly, faithfully, perfectly in time." The people watch the lilies sway gently in the breeze, and for the first time, they feel the sacredness of the small. How every quiet act of care, every unseen moment of provision, carries the weight of divine love. Take another long breath. Let it settle within you. There is no silence that God does not fill, no night in which his hand is still. Even now, in ways unseen, your life is being shaped by mercy. The teacher lifts his eyes toward the stars again, their soft glow unbroken by cloud or fear. "They shine," he says, "because the Father tells them to shine, and not one of them worries about whether the dawn will come, for they trust the one who placed them in the sky." He turns back to the people. You, too, are held in that same certainty. Every breath, every heartbeat, every step, part of the quiet work of his care. He pauses again, the night alive with peace. No sound but the whisper of wind through grass, and the steady rhythm of hearts learning to rest. Take one last slow, gentle breath before resting. Let the quiet of his providence surround you like the night itself. There is no need to rush toward answers, for they are already being written in the silence. You are carried by unseen grace, upheld by unseen hands, guided by unseen light. The teacher closes his eyes, and for a moment, the people do the same. The world feels weightless, calm, complete. And though nothing moves, everything is being tended. The night begins to thin, a soft pale silver blooming at the edge of the horizon. The air cool and still, fragrant with grass and dew. A hush lingers over the hillside, that sacred stillness that comes just before dawn. The teacher remains seated upon the stone, his eyes turned eastward, watching the slow birth of morning. The people are quiet beside him, some resting with heads bowed, others gazing out toward the faint promise of light beginning to touch the sea. He speaks softly. Trust, he says, is like the dawn. It begins small, faint, hidden behind the veil of darkness. But with every moment, it grows, it brightens, until it fills the sky. His voice drifts through the early air, steady, calm, almost blending with the first birds beginning to stir in the trees. Take a slow, peaceful breath. Let it draw in the quiet coolness of the pre-dawn air. With every inhale, imagine light forming within you, gentle, warm. With every exhale, release the shadows that still cling to your thoughts. You do not need to see the full sunrise to believe it is coming. He lifts a hand and points toward the faint line of gold emerging beyond the hills. The light is faithful, he whispers, even when your eyes cannot yet see it. So it is with your Father's care. You do not always see his work, but it is already rising around you. The crowd watches the horizon, and slowly, almost imperceptibly, the world begins to change, colors softening, shapes reappearing. The flowers lift their heads. The birds begin their morning songs. Creation awakens, not with noise, but with trust. He smiles faintly. The lilies do not wait for proof of the sun. They open their petals before it breaks the sky. Their trust welcomes the light before it comes. He pauses, and the words linger like the first warmth upon the skin. Take another long, steady breath. Let your heart open like those lilies. Let hope rise within you before you see the reason. Let trust bloom in the dark. For the dawn is already written into the pattern of the world. He continues. Faith does not erase uncertainty. It transforms it. It is the knowing that even when the night lingers, the morning will not forget its place. His voice softens, and the one who painted this sunrise paints each of your tomorrows with the same patient light. The first rays touch the sea, scattering diamonds of gold across its quiet surface. The birds take flight, their wings catching the light as if clothed in fire. And beneath that radiant sky, the people feel something awaken within them. A gentle peace, a holy calm, trust beginning to breathe. Take another deep, slow breath. Let that same light fill your chest. You are not waiting for hope to come, it is already here. Growing like morning, quiet, certain, unstoppable. The teacher stands, his robe glowing softly in the light's first touch. He looks toward the sea and whispers, "See, the light was faithful after all." And the crowd smiles, because now they see it too. Take one final breath before resting. Let the peace of dawn fill your heart. Let it remind you that trust does not come all at once. It grows, slowly, quietly, like the morning light that always returns. The teacher closes his eyes, and the wind moves gently across the hillside. The sound of life returns to the world, and in that first brightness, the promise is complete, that the same God who brings the sun, brings peace to every waiting heart. The first light of dawn now spills across the hillside. Soft, golden, quiet as breath. The long shadows fade, replaced by a warmth that moves slowly over the grass, over the faces of those who listen, over the still hands that have stopped clinging to what they cannot hold. The teacher rises to his feet, his silhouette bathed in the rising glow. The world seems to breathe with him, inhaling calm, exhaling fear. He looks upon the people gathered before him, and the love in his eyes feels as vast as the light that now fills the sky. He speaks gently. You cannot command the sun to rise. You cannot hold back the tide, nor quicken the seed beneath the soil. So why do you burden your heart with what only your Father can carry? The words fall like morning dew, cool and tender, resting upon souls long parched by worry. He steps closer to them, his shadow long upon the ground. The lilies surrender to the wind, the sparrows to the sky. They do not question the path they are given. They live, and in living, they trust. He looks toward the sea, shimmering softly beneath the newborn light, and says, "To surrender is not to lose. It is to return to peace. It is to breathe again." Take a slow, deep breath. Let it move through you like the morning breeze across still water. With every inhale, gather what you've tried to control. With every exhale, release it into the care of the one who never sleeps. The teacher walks slowly among them now. The sound of his sandals brushing against the grass is barely louder than the wind itself. He rests a hand on the shoulder of a fisherman, whose brow has long been marked by worry for the sea's uncertainty. "You cannot calm the waves," he says softly, "but you can rest in the one who walks upon them." The man's eyes glisten, his hands open, his heart begins to understand. The teacher continues on. When you surrender, you make room for grace to move. You free your heart to hear the quiet rhythms of heaven. You let go. And in letting go, you find that God was holding you all along. The words wash over them like light itself. No command, only invitation. To breathe, to rest, to trust. Take another long, peaceful breath. Let your shoulders soften, your jaw loosen, your spirit quiet. This is what surrender feels like, not defeat, but relief. The soft peace that comes when the battle of control finally ends. He turns his gaze upward again, the sun now full upon his face, and he smiles faintly, the glow reflecting in his eyes like fire made gentle. Let tomorrow belong to God, he whispers, for it was never yours to keep. It was always his to prepare. The wind moves through the grass again, carrying those words out into the world. Like seeds, each one falling upon a heart ready to grow peace. He kneels once more, scooping a handful of soil, letting it fall between his fingers. See how easily it returns to the earth, he says. So it is with your worries. When you release them to the one who made the ground beneath your feet, the dust shimmers briefly in the light, then disappears into the air. Gone, but not lost. Transformed. Take one final slow, deep breath before resting. Let go again. A little more deeply. A little more completely. Tomorrow does not need your fear. It already has his faithfulness. And as you exhale, imagine peace settling upon you like sunlight through open windows. The teacher lowers his hand, and the light around him seems to soften. He whispers once more, just loud enough for the heart to hear. Surrender what you cannot hold, and you will finally be free to rest. The breeze moves across the hillside, carrying that peace into every heart that listens. And for a long, quiet moment, no one speaks, because in that stillness, every soul has learned the beauty of letting go. The morning has fully arrived, the sun resting gently over the Sea of Galilee. Its light drapes over the fields like a golden veil, touching every blade of grass, every quiet face, every heart that has stayed to listen. The teacher stands at the edge of the hillside, the wind moving softly through his robe, his voice calm and unhurried as the day itself. He looks toward the horizon and says, "Each day has its own grace, its own mercy, its own gift of light." He turns toward the people, his eyes filled with a peace that seems to come from beyond the sunrise. You were not made to live in tomorrow, nor to dwell in yesterday. The Father gives you this day, and in it, there is enough. The crowd sits quietly. The words settle over them like sunlight upon still water. They begin to see the day differently, not as something to survive, but something to receive. Take a deep, gentle breath. Let it move through you like dawn spreading across the hills. With each inhale, gather the light of this moment. With each exhale, release the weight of what has not yet come. The teacher continues. When you wake each morning, the breath that fills your lungs is grace. The strength in your hands, grace. The food upon your table, the laughter that finds you, the stillness that returns when you least expect it. All grace. He pauses, watching the people as they close their eyes. Some smiling faintly, some whispering prayers of thanks they had forgotten to speak. He smiles. Do not let tomorrow steal what has been freely given today. For the Father does not send you into any day without first filling it with His care. He gestures toward the sky, vast, radiant, unhurried. See the sun. It does not rise twice in the same morning. It brings enough light for now, and trusts that the next will come in time. Take another slow, long breath. Feel it fill you, steady and warm. You are living inside a grace made for this day. Not yesterday's troubles, not tomorrow's questions, but the peace meant for now. He lowers his voice, the sound barely louder than the rustling of leaves nearby. Therefore, do not worry about tomorrow, for tomorrow will worry about itself. Each day has enough trouble of its own. The words flow like a lullaby, not stern, not distant, but tender, like a father soothing a restless child. The people nod slowly. They begin to understand that worry is not loyalty. It is forgetting. For every morning the sun rises. It carries proof that grace has not failed. The teacher looks out over the water, the sunlight shimmering like molten gold across its gentle ripples. And he whispers, each day has its own grace, its own portion of peace, its own reason to be still. The sentence hangs in the air like prayer. Simple, complete. Take another breath. Let the present moment hold you. You do not need to rush into the next hour, nor reach back to what is gone. For where you are right now, there is grace enough, peace enough, love enough. He closes his eyes, the wind brushing softly across his face. And in that stillness, the truth seems to hum through creation itself, that life is not measured by what is next, but by how fully we rest in what is now. The hillside glows beneath the morning sun. The sea sparkles like countless mirrors of light. And every soul gathered there feels the quiet wonder of being alive in the care of a God who gives just enough for each day. Take one final slow breath before resting. Let gratitude rise with the air in your lungs. Let it remind you that peace was never meant to be chased. It was always meant to be found. Here. Now. In the grace of this day. The teacher opens his eyes, smiles faintly, and whispers, "Tomorrow is waiting in the hands of love. So rest, and live in the gift of today." The sun is climbing higher now, its golden warmth spreading softly over the quiet hillside. The air feels alive, touched by the scent of morning dew and olive leaves. Birds move gently from branch to branch, their songs weaving through the stillness like threads of joy. The teacher sits once more upon the stone, his hands folded loosely in his lap. His eyes rest on the ground for a moment, then lift slowly toward the faces before him, faces now calm, serene, different than when the night began. He smiles and says softly, "Peace is not something you find in the distance. It is here, in this very breath." He pauses, the words sinking deep. You search for peace in tomorrows that have not come, but peace lives only in this moment, where the Father meets you, where love already surrounds you. Take a long, slow breath. Let it move gently through your body. With each inhale, gather the quiet of the morning. With each exhale, release the noise that lingers from the day before. Here, now, is all that is asked of you. The teacher reaches down and traces a circle in the dust. "This," he says, "is where your peace begins, right where you stand. Not beyond the circle, not in the next horizon, but here." He smooths the soil again with his palm. "And when your mind drifts to what's ahead, bring it back here, to this breath, this grace, this heartbeat." The people watch, silent and still. It is as though the air itself has slowed to match his words. A dove flies overhead, its wings whispering softly through the wind. The teacher follows it with his eyes and murmurs, "See how it moves, how it rests on air unseen. It trusts what it cannot see, and so it is held." He looks back to them. "This is peace," he says. "To trust what you cannot yet understand. To know that you are seen, carried, loved, even in the pauses between moments." His tone is soft, but every syllable carries warmth, the kind that lingers like sunlight through leaves. Take another deep, unhurried breath. Let your lungs fill completely. Feel the simplicity of that breath, how it needs no effort, no plan, no worry. It simply comes, and it is enough. He continues, "Worry lives in the hours that have not yet come. But faith lives here, in the sacred rhythm of this moment. You cannot be both in tomorrow and at peace today. Choose presence, and you will find rest." He looks down the slope of the hill, where the sea glitters under the morning sun. "The water never holds its waves still," he says softly. and yet it remains whole. It moves. It shifts. But it is never lost. He raises his gaze again. So too is the soul that rests in God, moving through each day, but never falling from his hand. Take one more breath, deep and slow. Let the present fill you. Feel how quiet it becomes when you stop reaching for what's ahead. When you rest, you meet the moment where God already waits. The teacher lowers his voice, almost to a whisper. You are safe in the now. This breath is proof of his care. This light is his reminder. This moment, holy. The breeze passes softly through the trees. The people breathe together, and the hillside glows in stillness. Peace no longer feels like something far away. It has settled into the air, into their hearts, into the very space between every heartbeat. Take one last gentle breath before resting. Let it slow your thoughts, soften your eyes, ease your spirit. The Father is here, now, not later, not soon, but here. The teacher closes his eyes, the morning sun warm upon his face, and in that silence, the world feels perfectly whole, for peace, at last, is present. The morning light has grown soft and golden, spilling gently over the hillsides of Galilee. The air hums quietly with life, bees stirring in the blossoms, the faint sound of footsteps upon the grass, and above, a chorus of sparrows begins to sing. The teacher lifts his gaze toward them, his eyes full of tenderness. He watches as they flit between branches, their small wings catching the sunlight like flecks of gold in motion. They move without hesitation, their voices rising and falling with the ease of hearts untroubled by fear. He smiles faintly, and his voice carries through the still air. Not one of them falls to the ground apart from your Father's care. The people follow his gaze, watching the tiny forms move through the light, and the weight of his words settles gently over them, not as doctrine, but as comfort. He continues softly, they do not plant, nor harvest, nor gather into barns, and yet, every morning, they wake and sing. His eyes glimmer in the sunlight. Do you see how faith looks when it is lived? It does not clench its hands. It opens them. It does not worry what the next wind will bring. It rides upon it. Take a slow, gentle breath. Let it move through you like the flutter of wings in still air. With each inhale, imagine lightness filling your chest. With each exhale, let go of the weight that keeps your soul from flight. He steps toward the olive tree near him, and one of the sparrows lands upon a low branch, its small eyes bright, its feathers glinting in the light of the rising sun. The teacher smiles. See, it has no fear of me. It trusts the one who made both of us. And in that trust, it finds its song. The people are quiet. Some wipe tears from their eyes. Others simply breathe in the peace of the moment. The sparrow sings again, a small, pure sound, rising into the clear morning air. And it feels as though heaven itself is listening. Take another long, unhurried breath. Let that small song echo within you. It is not the sound of strength, but of surrender, of knowing that being small in the Father's world is not weakness, but belonging. The teacher looks once more at the sky, now bright with light and alive with movement. The sparrows do not plan their paths, he says softly. They move as the wind leads. And yet, their every flight is known, their every landing seen. He turns back to them. You are worth far more than many sparrows. The words fall like balm upon the weary. Simple, clear, holy. No explanation needed, only belief that the same hand that feeds the sparrow will never fail to feed the soul. Take another deep, peaceful breath. Let your heart rest in that truth. You do not need to know what lies ahead. You only need to trust that the air will hold you when it comes. The teacher lowers his voice to a whisper. When fear returns, listen for the sparrow, for its song is the sound of trust, and in its melody, you will remember that you too are cared for. The sparrows rise together then, a flutter of wings against the brightening sky, their song scattering across the fields like light itself. And in their flight, the people see the image of faith, alive, free, fearless. Take one last slow breath before resting. Let it lift and fall within you like wings in still air. The same God who watches the sparrows watches you tonight. You are seen. You are known. You are safe within his keeping. The teacher tilts his head upward, smiling as the birds disappear into the morning light, and the peace that fills the air feels endless, eternal, alive. The sun has now risen fully, flooding the hills with soft warmth and gentle light. The flowers that lay closed in the cool of night now begin to unfold, each petal stretching slowly toward the sky. Their colors deepen beneath the glow, ivory and violet, soft yellow and faint pink. They sway lightly in the morning breeze, graceful, still, utterly unhurried. The teacher watches them, his hands folded before him, his expression peaceful and knowing. He speaks quietly. Consider the lilies, how they grow. They do not toil. They do not spin. And yet, even Solomon in all his splendor was not clothed like one of these. The words drift gently across the meadow, wrapping around the crowd like sunlight upon skin. He bends down and touches one of the blooms. its surface cool with dew. This flower does not strive to be beautiful, he says. And yet it is. It does not ask how tall it will grow, or whether it will bloom again. It simply receives. And in receiving, it becomes what it was made to be. Take a slow, deep breath. Let the air move softly through you. With every inhale, imagine your spirit unfolding like a lily beneath the morning light. With every exhale, release the restless need to hurry, to achieve, to prove. The teacher rises, and the people watch the lilies sway gently in the wind. 1,000 small sermons preached without sound, each one whispering the same sacred truth: rest is holy. He smiles faintly. The lilies teach without speaking. They worship by being still. They trust the Father's timing. And in that trust, they are clothed in glory. He looks at the crowd, his eyes glimmering with warmth. So it is with you. When you release the worry that tries to shape what only God can form, you too become clothed in peace. You too begin to shine with the quiet beauty of trust. Take another long, gentle breath. Let your shoulders soften, your heart slow. The peace of creation is speaking to you, not in words, but in rhythm, in light, in stillness. You are being reminded that all of life blooms by grace, not by strain. The wind moves through the meadow again, bending the lilies in a soft wave of motion. Their petals shimmer with the reflection of the rising sun, tiny drops of dew glinting like jewels. The teacher watches the light play across them, and whispers, "See how the morning dresses them in glory. See how the Father adorns what the world calls small." The people breathe deeply, some reaching out to touch the grass beside them, and they feel it, that quiet communion between heaven and earth, the sense that peace has always been available, always waiting, like the dawn, like the bloom, like the whisper of wind that carries his love unseen. Take another slow breath. Let this truth root deeply within you. You do not need to perform to be loved. You do not need to chase to be chosen. You only need to rest, to receive, to let his care unfold around you like light. He lifts his eyes toward the hills, every blade of grass, every flower, every bird alive with morning grace. And he smiles, a quiet smile of satisfaction. For the Father who clothes the fields, he says, clothes you also, not with fear, but with peace, not with striving, but with rest. The breeze sighs softly through the lilies, their motion slow and serene, and the crowd feels something change, the stillness no longer around them alone, but within. Take one final deep breath before resting. Let the air fill you with warmth, with light, with trust. You are clothed in His care, surrounded by His beauty, covered in the quiet language of rest. The teacher closes his eyes for a moment, his face turned toward the sun, and for a breathless instant, it seems as though the whole world bows with him, every flower, every bird, every heart, worshipping not through words, but through peace. The warmth of morning fills the air, golden light spilling like honey across the hillside. The birds have quieted now, their songs soft and scattered, as if even they are resting in the rhythm of peace. The people sit silently, breathing slowly, their hearts open, their worries faded like shadows beneath the rising sun. The teacher looks upon them, his expression gentle. He can feel it, the stillness that has taken root in their souls, the shift from striving to surrender. He smiles faintly and says, "You have learned what peace feels like. Now, learn how to live in it." He pauses, letting the silence deepen. "Peace is not the absence of storms," he says softly. "It is the breath that remains steady when the winds begin to rise. It is the faith that knows that even in chaos, the Father's hands have not let go." Take a slow, deep breath. Let it move gently through your chest. With every inhale, imagine the light of His peace filling you. With every exhale, release the memories of every moment you tried to hold the world together alone. He steps toward the edge of the slope, looking down over the water below. The waves lap quietly against the shore, rising, falling, steady, timeless. He gestures toward the sea. See how it moves, always breathing, always returning. The sea does not hold its breath when the wind blows, nor freeze when the clouds darken. It continues, because it trusts the rhythm of its maker. He turns back to the people, his eyes glimmering in the sunlight. So must your heart. When fear rises, breathe again. When doubt speaks, breathe again. When tomorrow feels uncertain, breathe again. He kneels and presses his hand gently into the soil beside him. "This earth," he whispers, "never forgets to breathe. It exhales through the trees. It inhales through the wind. And even when it trembles, it is still held in place by love unseen." Take another deep, unhurried breath. Let that rhythm become yours. Feel how your body already knows the pattern of peace. Inhale, grace. Exhale, release. Inhale, presence. Exhale, trust. The teacher's voice softens even more. Do not let worry steal your breath. Let each moment return you to the truth that the one who gives you breath will also give you peace. The people close their eyes, breathing with him now. the hillside alive with quiet unity. He continues, when your heart learns to breathe again, you will see clearly. You will notice the beauty in what was once ordinary. You will hear the whispers of God in the pauses between your thoughts. He smiles. Peace is not something you chase. It is something you uncover beneath all the noise. The sun rests high now, its warmth gentle upon their skin. The teacher stands and spreads his hands as if to bless the wind itself. Let your hearts live as the sea lives, he says softly. Breathing, moving, trusting, never afraid of the tide that carries it home. Take another slow, long breath. Let it fill you like sunlight through open windows. You do not need to have everything figured out to rest. You only need to remember this: you are held. Even now. He lowers his gaze, his eyes half closed. The breeze moves through his hair, carrying the quiet fragrance of lilies from the field below. And for a moment, no one can tell whether he is teaching, or praying, or simply breathing. Take one last deep breath before resting. Let it move through you like the calm tide upon the shore. You are safe in his rhythm, seen in his silence, restored in his peace. This is how the heart learns to breathe again, not by striving, but by remembering that every breath is already grace. The teacher exhales slowly, and as he does, the entire hillside seems to exhale with him. The people, the birds, the earth itself, all at rest, all alive, all breathing again. The sun stands full above Galilee now, the water gleaming like glass, the wind gentle against the hills. The world feels quiet, peaceful, whole, as if all creation has drawn one long breath and now rests in the calm after understanding. The teacher stands among the people, faces lifted toward him, hearts softened, spirits still. He looks over them with the tenderness of a shepherd watching his flock rest after a long journey. And he says softly, "Therefore, do not worry about tomorrow, for tomorrow will worry about itself." The words flow like a final benediction, like a blessing stretched across the morning air. He pauses, letting the silence after his words hold the same weight as the words themselves. Then, with a faint smile, he continues, "Your Father has already walked through tomorrow. He waits for you there, just as he is with you here." Take a slow, deep breath. Let the air fill you with warmth and light. With each inhale, imagine the future resting safely in his hands. With each exhale, release your need to reach for what is not yet yours. He turns his eyes toward the horizon, where the sea meets the sky in one seamless line of light. "Do you see how the horizon holds both sea and sky together?" he says. "They are not afraid of where one ends and the other begins. They trust the one who drew their boundary. He lowers his gaze. So must you trust that your tomorrow already has its shape, its time, its care. The people listen. The soft hum of the wind brushing through their hair. The distant call of gulls echoing from the shore. And in that quiet, something sacred fills them, a peace too deep for words, a knowing that feels like rest. He continues. The Father's mercy does not arrive late. His grace does not run out. It meets you new each morning, fresh as the dew upon the grass. He kneels, running his hand lightly over the blades of green shimmering in the sun. See how the morning renews what the night left still. So it is with you, each day born with its own measure of grace. Take another long, slow breath. Let it move through you gently. The next sunrise is not yours to manage. It will come when it is called. It will bring what you need. And nothing more will be asked of you than to open your heart to its light. He rises again, his robe stirring faintly with the wind, his eyes calm as the sea itself. Peace, he whispers, is not the promise of a perfect life. It is the assurance of a perfect love. A love that does not change with the hours, or with the storms. A love that holds tomorrow, as surely as it holds you now. The crowd is silent. No one moves. For they can feel it, the truth sinking deeper than words can reach. Some close their eyes. Others smile faintly through tears. And in that moment, every heart believes. Not because of understanding, but because of peace. Take one more slow breath before resting. Let it carry the stillness of this morning into your own heart. Let it remind you that you need not rush ahead. Tomorrow is already in His hands, and those same hands are holding you tonight. The teacher looks once more toward the horizon, where the sea shimmers beneath the blazing sun. He breathes deeply, and for a moment, the wind itself seems to quiet in reverence. Then, with that same calm voice that has silenced storms and softened hearts, he says, "Rest now, for the one who paints the dawn has already prepared your tomorrow. You are safe. You are seen. You are loved. And you are home." The people bow their heads, the sunlight warm upon their faces, and as they breathe in the peace of the morning, the words of the teacher echo softly through their souls. Do not worry about tomorrow, for tomorrow is already resting in the hands of God.